Most people spend their entire lives chasing happiness in all the wrong places. They think it's hiding in the next promotion, the perfect relationship, or a bigger house. But happiness isn't something you find out there. It's something you build in here, one small choice at a time. Buddhism teaches us something the modern world keeps forgetting. Happiness isn't a destination, it's a practice. It's woven into the way you start your morning, the thoughts you choose to believe, and the kindness you offer when no one's watching. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 10 daily habits rooted in ancient Buddhist wisdom. Simple, powerful practices that don't require you to change your life overnight, just your awareness, your attention, your heart. And if you stick around until the end, the 10th habit might completely shift the way you see yourself. And don't forget to like the video so you can easily come back and listen again. Let's begin. Habit 1. Start your day in silence before the world speaks. Most mornings begin with a jolt, an alarm screaming, a phone lighting up, messages, emails, notifications, all demanding your attention before you've even taken a full breath. You're reacting before you've had a chance to center yourself, and that sets the tone for the entire day. Buddhism teaches that the quality of your morning shapes the quality of your mind. If you begin in chaos, you carry that chaos with you. But if you begin in stillness, you anchor yourself in peace. This doesn't mean you need an hour of meditation or a perfectly quiet home. It means giving yourself even 5 minutes. Sit at the edge of your bed. Close your eyes. Breathe slowly. Let the silence settle into your bones before the noise rushes in. In that silence, you're not avoiding life. You're preparing for it. You're reminding yourself that you're not your to-do list. You're not the urgency the world tries to impose on you. You're the calm beneath it all. When you protect your morning, you protect your peace. And peace, once rooted, becomes the foundation for everything else. Habit 2. Practice gratitude. Not as a task, but as a lens. Gratitude gets thrown around a lot these days. Write 3 things you're grateful for. Keep a journal. Make a list. And sure, those things help. But real gratitude isn't about checking a box. It's about training your mind to notice what's already good instead of obsessing over what's missing. Buddhist wisdom reminds us that suffering often comes from focusing on lack. We fixate on what we don't have, what didn't go right, what someone else has that we want. That focus becomes a filter. And through that filter, nothing ever feels like enough. But gratitude flips the lens. It asks you to pause and see what's here. The warmth of sunlight, a kind word from a stranger, the fact that you woke up today with another chance to try. You don't need a journal for this, though it helps. You just need intention. As you move through your day, catch yourself when your mind drifts toward complaint or comparison. Gently redirect it. What's one thing right now that's working? One thing you can appreciate? Over time, this becomes automatic. Your brain starts scanning for the good instead of the bad, and that shift, quiet as it is, changes everything. Habit 3. Speak with intention, not impulse. Words are more powerful than we give them credit for. They're not just sounds we toss into the air and forget. They shape reality. They build bridges or burn them. They heal or they wound. Buddhism calls this right speech, one of the steps on the Eightfold Path. It doesn't mean you have to be perfect or never say the wrong thing. It means you pause. You ask yourself, is this true? Is this kind? Is this necessary? Most of the time we speak on autopilot. We react, we vent. We say things we don't mean because we're tired or frustrated or caught off guard. And once the words leave your mouth, you can't pull them back. So the habit here is simple, but not easy. Before you speak, take a breath, even just one. That tiny pause creates space between impulse and action. It gives you a chance to choose your words instead of letting your emotions choose them for you. This doesn't make you fake or overly cautious. It makes you conscious. And conscious speech builds trust, clarity, and connection in every relationship you have. Habit 4. Move your body, not to punish it, but to honor it. Your body isn't a machine you push until it breaks. It's not something to control or fight against. It's your home, and like any home, it needs care. Buddhism doesn't separate mind and body the way Western thinking often does. They're not two separate things. They're intertwined. When your body feels tense, your mind feels scattered. When your body feels strong and cared for, your mind follows. You don't need a gym membership or a strict routine. You just need movement. A walk in the morning, stretching before bed, dancing in your kitchen. Anything that reminds your body it's alive and valued. The point isn't burning calories or hitting goals, it's presence. When you move with awareness, you reconnect with yourself. You stop living only in your head and remember you have a body that carries you through every single day. Treat it with respect, move it with gratitude, and notice how differently you feel when you do. Habit 5. Let go of one thing that no longer serves you. We hold on to so much without realizing it. Old grudges, worn-out habits, relationships that drain us, beliefs we inherited but never questioned. All of it weighs us down, quietly stealing our energy and peace. Buddhism teaches that attachment is the root of suffering. Not attachment to people or things themselves, but attachment to how we think things should be. The tighter we hold on, the more we suffer when reality doesn't match our expectations. So here's the practice. Every day, let go of something small. Maybe it's a judgment you're holding against someone. Maybe it's a habit you keep repeating, even though it doesn't make you happy. Maybe it's scrolling through social media when you know it leaves you feeling worse. You don't have to let go of everything at once, just one thing. Notice what's weighing you down today and choose to release it. This isn't about being careless or detached from life. It's about making space, because the more you let go of what doesn't serve you, the more room you create for what does. And that space, that's where happiness starts to grow. These first 5 habits might seem simple. They are, but simple doesn't mean easy. And that's exactly why most people give up. They try to overhaul their entire life in one day and then wonder why they can't sustain it. But transformation doesn't come from dramatic gestures. It comes from showing up, quietly, consistently, for the things that actually matter. So let's keep going. It's habit 6. Practice gratitude, but make it real. Gratitude has become trendy. Everyone talks about it. Journals are filled with lists. I'm grateful for my coffee, my bed, my phone. But here's the problem. Most of it stays surface level. It becomes another task to check off, another thing you do because you're supposed to. Buddhism teaches that real gratitude isn't a mental exercise. It's a shift in how you see the world. It's recognizing that nothing you have was guaranteed. Not your breath, not your safety, not the people who love you. When you understand that deeply, gratitude stops being a list and starts being a lens. You begin to notice the small miracles you used to overlook. The way sunlight moves across your floor, the sound of laughter in another room, the fact that your heart has been beating without you asking it to, every single second of your life. Here's the practice. Once a day, pause and feel grateful for something you usually take for granted. Not just think it, feel it. Let it settle in your chest, let it soften you. Because gratitude isn't just about being positive, it's about being present, and presence is where peace lives. Habit 7. Speak less, listen more. We live in a world that rewards noise. The loudest voice gets heard, the quickest response gets liked. But wisdom doesn't shout, it listens. Buddhism places deep value on silence. Not because words don't matter, but because most words are wasted. We talk to fill space. We interrupt because we think our point is more important. We half listen while planning what we'll say next. And in all that noise, we miss what's actually being shared. Listening, real listening, is an act of respect. It says, I see you, I value what you're offering. I'm not just waiting for my turn to talk. It also teaches you things you'd never learn otherwise. People reveal themselves when they feel heard. Patterns emerge, truth surfaces. And often, the answer you were searching for was already there. You just weren't quiet enough to notice. So today, practice this. In every conversation, let the other person finish. Don't interrupt. Don't plan your response while they're talking. Just listen. You'll be surprised how much shifts when you stop trying to be heard and start making space for others to be seen. Habit 8. Spend time in silence every day. This one makes people uncomfortable. Silence feels awkward, empty, like something's missing. We fill every gap with podcasts, music, notifications, noise. But here's what Buddhism knows. Silence isn't empty. It's full of clarity, full of truth, full of the voice you've been drowning out with distraction. When you sit in silence, even for 5 minutes, something powerful happens. The chaos in your mind starts to settle. Thoughts that were spinning finally slow down, and underneath all that noise, you hear yourself again. The real you, not the anxious, reactive, overwhelmed version. Silence gives you access to your intuition. It helps you notice what you're actually feeling instead of what you think you should feel. It creates space between you and the constant demand for your attention. You don't need a meditation cushion or a special room. Just sit, close your eyes, breathe. Let the world be quiet for a moment. And if your mind races, that's okay. Don't fight it. Just notice. Because even in the noise of your thoughts, the act of sitting in silence is teaching you something vital. You don't need constant stimulation to feel okay. You're enough, just as you are, in the stillness. Habit 9. Do one thing at a time. Multitasking is a lie. You're not doing 5 things well. You're doing 5 things poorly. Your attention is split. Your energy is scattered. And at the end of the day, you feel exhausted but can't point to anything you actually completed with presence. Buddhism calls this mindfulness. But it's not some mystical concept. It's just doing what you're doing. When you eat, eat. When you walk, walk. When you talk to someone, be there. Fully. Not with one eye on your phone or your mind already 3 steps ahead. This habit alone will change your life. Because when you give your full attention to one thing, that thing becomes richer. Food tastes better. Conversations go deeper. Work gets done faster and with more clarity. You stop living on autopilot and start actually experiencing your life. Try it today. Pick one activity, making tea, folding laundry, writing an email, and do only that. Notice the details. Feel the sensations. Be there. It might feel strange at first. That's because you've been training yourself to be everywhere except where you are. But the more you practice, the more natural it becomes, and slowly life stops feeling like a blur. Habit 10. End your day with reflection, not distraction. Most people end their day the same way they start it, scrolling, watching, numbing. They're too tired to do anything meaningful, so they zone out until they fall asleep. But how you end your day matters just as much as how you begin it, because your last thoughts before sleep shape the state you wake up in. Buddhism encourages evening reflection, not to judge yourself or replay every mistake, but to gently review. What went well today? What didn't? What did I learn? How did I show up? This isn't about perfection, it's about awareness. When you reflect, you close the loop. You process the day instead of carrying it into tomorrow. You notice patterns, you celebrate small wins, you give yourself permission to let go of what's done. Here's a simple practice. Before bed, sit for just 2 minutes. Ask yourself, what am I grateful for today? What could I do better tomorrow? Then let go. No screens, no distractions, just you, your breath, and the quiet end of another day. That's how you build a life you're proud of, not through grand achievements, but through small, conscious choices repeated over and over until they become who you are. These 10 habits aren't random. They're threads in a single fabric. Each one pulls you out of reactivity and into presence, out of distraction and into depth. And when you weave them together, something shifts. You stop living on the surface. You start touching something real. But there's a deeper truth underneath all of this, one that ties everything together and explains why these habits work so well. It's not just about what you do, it's about who you become when you do them consistently. Most people are waiting for the right moment, the right mood, the perfect conditions to finally start living intentionally. But life doesn't wait. It's happening now, and the person you are today is being shaped by the tiny, invisible decisions you're making every single hour. Do you pause or react? Do you breathe or scroll? Do you notice or numb? Buddhism teaches that transformation doesn't happen in one dramatic moment. It happens in 1,000 quiet ones. The mornings you chose stillness over chaos. The afternoons you chose presence over productivity. The evenings you chose reflection over distraction. Those moments add up, they compound, and eventually they become you. That's the real power of habit. It's not about control, it's about repetition with awareness. When you repeat something enough times with intention, it stops being something you do and starts being who you are. You don't have to force calm anymore. It lives in you. You don't have to remind yourself to be present. It becomes your default. The effort fades. The identity remains. Think about the person you were a year ago. What were you doing every day? What were you feeding your mind, your body, your spirit? Now look at where you are. There's a connection. Your daily habits didn't just fill your time, they built your life. And if you're not where you want to be, it's not because you're broken. It's because your habits haven't caught up to your vision yet. The good news, you can change that starting now. Not tomorrow, not Monday, now. Because every single moment is a chance to choose differently. To stop, breathe, and ask, is this bringing me closer to peace or pulling me further away? That question alone is a practice, and the more you ask it, the clearer your path becomes. Here's what nobody tells you. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. That's ego talking. That's the part of you that wants the transformation to be loud, visible, impressive. But real change is quiet. It's choosing tea over coffee because your body needs gentleness. It's closing your eyes for 30 seconds in the middle of a stressful day. It's saying no to one thing so you can say yes to your peace. Small doesn't mean insignificant. Small means sustainable. And sustainability is what separates the people who change for a week from the people who change for a lifetime. You're not looking for a burst of motivation. You're building a foundation, brick by brick, breath by breath, day by day. Now let's talk about resistance, because it's coming. You'll start these habits with excitement, maybe even inspiration. But a few days in, the novelty fades. Your mind will say, "This isn't working fast enough." Your old patterns will pull at you like gravity. You'll want to quit. And that moment, right there, is where most people turn back. But not you, because you understand something crucial. Resistance isn't a sign you're failing. It's a sign you're growing. Growth is uncomfortable. It has to be. You're rewiring years of conditioning. You're choosing presence in a world designed to distract you. Of course it feels hard. That's proof it's working. When resistance shows up, don't fight it. Notice it. Say to yourself, there it is. My mind is trying to protect me from change. Thank it. Then do the thing anyway. Sit in silence even when it feels pointless. Move your body even when you're tired. Reflect even when you'd rather scroll. That's where the real transformation happens. Not in the easy moments, but in the ones where you choose growth over comfort. And here's something powerful. You don't have to do all 10 habits perfectly. You're not aiming for perfection. You're aiming for direction. Some days you'll nail it. Other days you'll forget half of them. That's fine. Progress isn't linear. It's messy, inconsistent, human. What matters is that you keep coming back, that you don't use one bad day as an excuse to abandon the whole practice. Buddhism calls this the middle way. Not too tight, not too loose. Not punishing yourself, not letting yourself drift. Just a steady, gentle commitment to showing up, to trying again, to remembering why you started in the first place. So why did you start? What brought you here? Was it exhaustion, anxiety, a quiet knowing that life could feel different if you just slowed down? Hold on to that. Write it down. Put it somewhere you'll see it. Because on the hard days, that's your anchor. That's the voice that will remind you, this matters, you matter. And the life you're building, one habit at a time, is worth every ounce of effort. You're not trying to become someone else. You're trying to come home to yourself. The self that exists beneath the noise, the pressure, the endless doing. The self that knows how to be still, how to breathe, how to live without needing everything to be perfect. That self has always been there. These habits are just the path back. And the beautiful thing? You don't have to walk it alone. Millions of people throughout history have walked this same path. They've sat in the same silence, faced the same resistance, chosen presence over distraction, and they found something real, something lasting, something that no external circumstance could take away. Now it's your turn, not someday. Today, this moment, this breath. Because the life you want isn't waiting for you at the finish line. It's being built right now in the choices you make when nobody's watching. So start small. Pick one habit from this list, just one. Maybe it's 2 minutes of morning silence. Maybe it's a single page of journaling before bed. Maybe it's putting your phone in another room for an hour. Whatever it is, commit to it for 7 days. Not a month, not a year. 7 days, that's all. Make it so small that skipping feels harder than doing it. Because once you prove to yourself that you can do it for 7 days, something shifts. You stop seeing yourself as someone who can't stick to things. You start seeing yourself as someone who follows through. And that identity shift, that's everything. It changes what you believe is possible. It rewrites the story you tell yourself about who you are. From there, you add another habit, then another, slowly, patiently, without rushing. This isn't about overhauling your entire life overnight. It's about building a foundation so steady that nothing can shake it. Brick by brick, breath by breath. And here's what nobody tells you. The habits themselves aren't the point. The point is who you become while practicing them. You become someone who keeps promises to yourself. someone who doesn't need motivation to do what matters, someone who can sit with discomfort without running, someone who trusts themselves, and that person can handle anything life throws at them, not because they're fearless, but because they've trained themselves to return to center no matter what, to find calm in chaos, to breathe through the storm. That's the real power of these habits. They don't just change your day, they change your entire relationship with yourself. Now let's talk about what happens when you actually stick with this. Not for a week, not for a month, but for a season, for a year, for long enough that these practices stop feeling like something you do and start feeling like who you are. You'll notice things, small things at first. You'll catch yourself pausing before reacting in a conversation. You'll feel your shoulders drop during a stressful moment because you remember to breathe. You'll walk outside and actually notice the sky instead of rushing past it. These aren't dramatic transformations, they're quiet ones. But quiet doesn't mean small. Because those tiny shifts, they compound, they ripple outward into every corner of your life. You'll start making better decisions because you're not operating from a place of stress and reactivity. You'll build deeper relationships because you're actually present with people. You'll feel more creative because your mind isn't constantly cluttered. You'll sleep better, move easier, laugh more freely. Not because life got easier, but because you got stronger, more grounded, more you. Buddhism teaches that suffering comes from resisting what is, from wanting things to be different than they are. And the irony is that the moment you stop resisting, the moment you accept this breath, this body, this life exactly as it is right now, that's when real change becomes possible, not before. These habits are training wheels for that acceptance. They teach you how to be with yourself without needing to fix, change, or improve anything. How to just exist without apology, without performance, without needing to prove your worth. And in a world that constantly tells you you're not enough, that's radical, that's revolutionary. To simply be, to trust that your presence is enough, that your breath is enough, that you, as you are right now, are enough. So what now? You've heard the habits, you understand the why. You know what resistance will feel like and how to move through it. The only question left is this: will you start? Not tomorrow, not after you finish your to-do list, not when life calms down. Now. Because there will never be a perfect time. There will always be something else demanding your attention. Another task, another distraction, another reason to put yourself last. But what if today was the day you chose differently? What if this moment right here was the turning point? Not because everything suddenly became clear, but because you decided that your peace matters, that your presence matters, that you matter. You don't need permission. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to take one step, then another, then another, and trust that the path reveals itself as you walk it. That's how every journey begins, not with a map, not with certainty, but with a single decision to move forward even when you can't see the whole road ahead. The Buddha didn't become enlightened because he had perfect conditions. He became enlightened because he sat down and refused to leave until he understood. He committed. He stayed. He trusted the process even when it was uncomfortable, even when nothing seemed to be happening, and eventually everything shifted. You're not trying to become the Buddha, but you are trying to wake up, to stop sleepwalking through your own life, to reclaim your attention, your energy, your peace. And that's not a small thing. That's everything. Because once you wake up, once you truly see how much power you've been giving away to distractions and habits that don't serve you, you can't unsee it. And that awareness becomes the foundation for everything else, for the life you actually want to live, for the person you actually want to be. It all starts here, with these 10 habits, with this one decision, with this single breath. You already know what to do, you've known the whole time. Now it's just about doing it, about showing up for yourself the way you show up for everyone else, about treating your inner world with the same care you give to your outer responsibilities, because you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't give what you don't have. And if you're running on empty, pushing through exhaustion, ignoring your own needs, eventually something breaks. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can choose differently, starting today, starting now. So take a breath, feel your feet on the ground, and ask yourself, what's one small step I can take right now toward the life I actually want to live? Then take it, that's all, just one step. The rest will follow. The path is already laid out in front of you. These 10 habits aren't asking you to become someone new. They're inviting you back to who you've always been beneath the noise, the rushing, the endless striving. You don't need more time. You don't need different circumstances. You just need this moment and the willingness to honor it. Start with one habit. Protect your morning silence or end your day with reflection. Let that single choice become the thread that pulls everything else into alignment. Because transformation isn't loud. It doesn't announce itself with fanfare. It arrives quietly in the space between one breath and the next, in the pause before you react, in the moment you choose presence over pressure. You've spent enough time waiting for life to feel different. Now you know the truth. Life changes when you do, not all at once, but slowly, steadily, with each small practice repeated until it becomes part of you. So close your eyes for just a second. Feel the weight of your body. Notice the rhythm of your breath. This is where it all begins. Right here in the ordinary sacred moment you almost missed. Your peace has been waiting for you. It's time to come home.